life, and let me tell you, it's good to be back. Sorry for the little, hit and miss with episodes in the last few weeks. I've been on vacation, a much needed vacation, I might add. Seeing the family, seeing the new nephews, but we're back and we have a lot to talk about, a lot of updates with the business in China.
Yeah, definitely. You guys know this blog is a big part of the business we do, but you have to be able to step away from everything when you go on these vacations. You really, well, not everything because that's impossible, but I mean as much as you can. So he, got some rest and relaxation. My workload got bigger, but now he's back, so now we're back to getting after it.
Yeah, and some importance, we do have a lot of updates and we have a lot of things happening that we're really excited about. First off, the day that I landed, boom, we had our event. That day I went right to it. Tell them a little bit about that. It was exciting.
Yeah, the event was held at the China Hotel, a Marriott hotel. It's one of the original 5 stars here in Guangzhou. Beautiful outdoor venue. We'll put some photos up. Actually.
Yeah. There's some photos on our Facebook page, but we'll link some down below.
It was just really to introduce our brand, the new brands we're bringing, and to introduce our company, who we are, to the media, distributors, and introduce the new concept, because we have this new world, new wine, new attitude concept, and it was a hit. It was a complete success, went perfectly with media, concept, and got a lot of great contacts. So busy, but all good.
Yeah, and you learn a lot. We learned our wines were a success. They were a hit. And we knew that because they're good wines.
Yeah.
Everyone loved the wines. Everyone wanted the wines. You discover a lot of things when you're throwing live events like that. Some of the price points might not hit on some of the customers there. However, you also learn some new business opportunities.
Yeah.
Okay, we met a lot of distributors that were looking to buy direct from the States, and we could, in a sense, just play matchmaker. So we definitely learned a lot, and it was really nice to get our brand out there in the media. We got a few press releases coming here in the next few days. Yeah. We got a story write-up on the biggest expat magazine coming out here in a week. So we're really excited about our brand and the growth that we're seeing and the media coverage that we're getting,
Yeah, it means we're doing something right, so thanks everybody again, as always, for the support, watching us, and hopefully they'll learn a thing or two.
Exactly. I will also say a lot of things, we didn't do a lot of filming episodes when we were back home, but what we did do was consulting calls, and that was good to see because people are hitting us up, and we're so excited about that because people are interested in China.
Yeah.
Okay, every time we get on one of those calls, we want to make it clear that, guys, it's exciting because you guys are interested in China. We have, in the last few days, a few guys around, a little older than us, but they're moving out to China. They're going to try and make it, and that is just so exciting to us. That is the whole point of what we're doing.
Yeah.
And so definitely check out our consulting page. If you're at all interested in anything China, hit us up. We're more than willing to talk, and with the values there. We'll talk candidly about all of our experiences. We'll throw some business ideas your way, and we'll try and kickstart this new movement over here to business in China for entrepreneurs.
Yeah, as we always say, as everybody said, nothing but positive reviews from every caller, and there's too much opportunity out here. There truly is, and we want to share it with everybody who's willing to, get over here and do it with us. So,
well, we stand by it. If you don't like the call, money back. Yeah. But that will happen. So
for sure, we give people businesses to build right after their phone call. So
exactly,
it's easy from there.
Okay, guys. So today I want to really talk about something that just happened in our lives a few days ago, and the title of today's episode is "Problems Are Roadblocks," or "Problems Are Speed Bumps, Not Roadblocks."
Yeah.
And that really rang true the few days after our event. Just being an entrepreneur, you will have ups and you will have downs. And on those downs, it is extremely important to build a mentality and a specific way to see those problems for what they really are. So we'll run through what exactly happened and what we were feeling during that situation so you guys can kind of learn from what's happening with us. You want to start?
Yeah, well, real quick, it was just so funny because the event was one of the most successful days in our company's history. It was wonderful. It was great to see we did something very successful, and then less than 72 hours later, it was just like, you gotta be kidding me. So it's crazy. It's literally the roller coaster, just highs to lows these past few days. But we're learning to deal with it. Should we start with the wine?
Yeah. So our import agent, we had switched to a new import agent to cut costs. They were going to be cheaper, and somehow your import agent is paired with your sales agent, and they had been in contact for months preparing documents on this latest shipment, and it's sitting in port right now. It should be through in the next few days, and we get a call going, oh, we just realized that we don't have the right license to sell in this province. A lot, you know, we'll take some blame for that, but we put our parties in contact for a reason. Yeah. And so you kind of look at yourselves and, you know, you get the email and the phone call saying you don't know when your wine is going to be through and available. Well, we just threw an event to sell this wine. So it kind of hits you really hard. You're like, oh my God, is this really happening right now? Is this happening?
And then on top of that, the weight was off for our wines.
Yeah.
And now China Inspection and Quarantine, CIQ, wants to come inspect our shipment just to verify the wines and the weight. The thing is, we had this event planned, so our import agent said, okay, take half a case for the event.
Take a case. We took a case. Yeah, he said, okay.
He said, take a case. We could use 6 bottles. I wasn't sure about the logic behind that, but we said, all right. So now we said, okay. All 6 cases were gone of the wine, and we bring it back to him, and he doesn't know what to do. They're weighing it, so it's going to be a different weight to give. And then I talked to our contact at the ATO, and he's like, oh, you know, they tear the shipments apart sometime. You know, check everything. And it's like, and I'm like, and if they find an empty box, then you're in trouble. And, you know, we're talking 6 figures worth of wine, you know, is the value of this stuff. So it's not a, it definitely had our heart beating for a little bit, but we think we're on the verge of a solution, if you will.
Yeah, so that's just a little glimpse into how China works. You know, your agent tells you, don't worry, it'll be fine. You know, our wine should have been clean and clear because these are new brands that we've never brought in before, and it should have been cleared before the event. However, somehow they misweighed, our shipping agent misweighed our wine, or something happened in between the shipping process where it didn't match up. And so our date comes up and it's still being held, and we can't cancel the event.
Yeah.
Okay? And so he goes, it's fine, it's fine. 6 bottles I'll be able to make, oh, that'll be fine. Well, I think we had 3 bottles left in a few of them, and then the whole case was gone in a few of them. The event, it was, you know, we had a lot more people than we thought were going to be there.
It's good.
And yeah, you know, we just didn't want to stop pouring the wine. And so he comes back like it's the end of the world, like there's nothing you can do. Like 3 more bottles compared to what the 6 he told us was like the cliff.
Yeah.
And we were like, what? And then compounded on the fact that the guy's like, I don't have the license. And so let's get back to what we're talking about today. What we're talking about today is building a mentality of an entrepreneur and how you're going to look at problems. I'll never forget when we were looking at one of these problems a few months ago, because they'll always come, guys. They'll always come. And one guy said, guys, don't worry. There's always a solution. And I've never forgot that. Every single time something happens now, it doesn't fade. It's just, that's what it is. It's a speed bump.
Yeah.
There's always a solution. There's always a solution.
It's just a problem that you haven't solved.
Okay.
That you're going to solve.
Exactly. And you know what, these problems, they teach you things of what not to do next time. We know not to use these companies next time. Okay? We know that we're going to have an agent, personal agent. We're not going to hire another company. We're going to have a personal agent at the ship with weighing it for our company, not paying someone to do it. So it gets done right. And that's what they are. You got to see the problems for what they are. Speed bumps, not roadblocks.
Yeah, as an entrepreneur, you should never be able to run into a problem and say, that's it, just I'm stepping away. Because that's not the right mentality. There's always a way you can pivot, change your approach, something to make, to be sure you reach your end goal.
Exactly. And guys, that has been such a huge realization in our business, and it will be in everyone's. Everyone can be in, you know, you can picture yourself in those shoes where it all seems to be like happening all at the same time. You're like, oh no, what happens when that happens? You start picturing all the bad stuff that can happen. You're like, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, oh no, we can't do this. Well, no, that's not true.
Yeah.
Okay, when you train yourself to hear a problem, you're like, okay, well, how can we do this? How can we figure this out? Let's get on the phone. Let's get on the lines. Let's find a solution. You can find a solution. And so you save yourself all the panic and anxiety of dealing with the problem. And instead of taking hours and days to be like, oh no, you know, you start right away and finding a solution. That's what happened with us.
Yeah.
You know. Go ahead.
I was going to say, you have those. We had that oh no moment, of of course, it's inevitable that you're not going to have that, and maybe you might start to think what ifs. But when you actually look at the problem, you know, it helps for us to get it down on paper or see what we need to solve, you know, more objective than subjectively, I guess. And then you're able to analyze it much better and then act on it. And that's the most important thing, because your mind, you know, it all depends on where your attitude is. If it's going up, it will stay that way, and you know, if it's going down, it's easy to bring down real quick as well. So you always just got to remember to keep that optimistic, positive outlook and everything. You know, as long as you're working hard, the solution's there.
It'll make all the difference, guys. And just to wrap everything up, you're not going to learn it right away. It's hard to have that attitude, but when you're dealing with China, things are always going to happen.
Yeah.
Always. This is the Wild West. There's nothing that's set. Everything's different from this shipment to this shipment, and rules change, regulations change, people that are inspecting you change, everything changes. Okay, so you have to have that mentality in any business. You can deal with speed bumps, they're not roadblocks. Everything can be solved, there's always a solution. Keep your eyes looking straight forward. Nothing's going to hold you back if you're confident and you know where the goals are, where you're going to go. Don't let roadblocks stand in their way.
Yeah. Like you said really quick, Wild West, everything's ambiguous here. Well, it's defined, but it's ambiguous in how they deal with it. There's nobody really has the accountability, so everybody kind of just is looking around, if you will. So it's much more different from the West, but yeah, never roadblocks, speed bumps, only slow you down, but don't stop you.
Exactly, guys. So, it's all about how you deal with problems. There's always a solution. Alright guys, it's good to be back. We're excited to pound out a lot of episodes over the next few weeks.
Definitely.
Really keep you up to date with what's happening with us, what's happening here in China, and let's get everything rolling.
Yeah, we have a lot of exciting